Hey guys, so last build of this league, and for the last build I wanted to invest more currency than I usually do, but this is far from the high-end builds. But for the last build, all I wanted is decent clear speed, decent single target, decent tankiness, and easy to play. I am using the new belt, the Diamond Shrine belt, which I believe I paid 22 divines. So the build is basically a big AoE Cyclone by using Atziri's Disfavour, which does give +1 to meter to weapon range. Normally weapon range is like 1.2 meters, but this time it's 2.3, and Cyclone scales a lot with increased melee strike range. Not just weapon range, but melee strike range. So basically the way you increase the Cyclone radius is by getting, you can obviously get normal increased AoE, but it's not as efficient as getting increased melee strike range. And the weapon has pretty decent DPS. It's not amazing, but it could also be corrupted to give you either more melee strike range or more damage or quality of socketed support gems. Which is a bit sad because support gems are not very interesting anymore for the quality stacking. The Diamond Shrine belt gives you 100% crit chance, and then you just put on Marilyn's Fallacy. The less crit chance doesn't matter, and then you just get massive crit multiplier. Mine isn't even corrupted, so it could be much higher crit multiplier. The Cyclone of Tumble is, by the way, with level 1 life tap. A weird thing, and I don't understand why, the non-corrupted Cyclone of Tumble was like 4 divines, and the, what is it called, Blessed, Imbued, whatever it's called, that adds a level 1 life tap, was like 20 heals, and it works really well. Everything is life tap. I don't use mana. However, because of the belt, I also cannot use any utility flash. And also I'm using Replica Stampede, which is cheaper than the normal Stampede, just to set your movement speed to 150 of its base value, which means like Quicksilver would not help, Onslaught would not help, any movement speed increase would not help. However, the only way to increase your movement speed is action speed, and it's not an easy thing to get on Slayer. This is Slayer, by the way, because of AoE accuracy. I'm actually even taking the Fed ring, but it's not really needed. Oh, another thing I forgot to mention, this is also using the Void Shockwave. Where is it? The Void Shockwave is a bit different from normal Shockwave. It doesn't have multiple uses. However, you can get multiple uses by crafting a ring with the new essence, which doesn't actually do anything for the single target when you're continuously hitting and proccing. And the rest of the gear, just try to get enough accuracy, life resistances, chaos res, and for tankiness, obviously armor, stacking armor. So I got almost 16,000 armor. I do generate endurance charges, 5 endurance charges passively, and I do generate endurance charges from the implicit on the body armor, and it needs to be at least 13 seconds. And also picking up not the charge master to increase charge duration, but just picking up this one, 20% charge duration, and then an extra this one, and the charges last for 14 seconds rather than 10, and that's all you need to sustain maximum charges. So that gives tankiness, Fortify gives tankiness, Slayer's Overleech helps with tankiness and sustainability as well. The explosions that you're seeing are coming from the Axe Mastery. Some people still don't know that the Axe Mastery has this amazing mastery that destroys enemy corpses, so all the porcupines no definitely dead or from monsters, so it's very nice. And I believe Void Shockwave has like a pop sound effect as well. For extra tankiness, also using Infused Shuddering. While you're shuddering, like these boots are especially really good for Cyclone, because normally Cyclone will slow you down, but with these boots it doesn't. So you can move faster, but you cannot really move any faster than this. However, you can still use Frostblink because it's an instant skill. So it helps you move much faster without stopping the Cyclone and without losing the Cyclone stacks. And because of that, I'm also using cooldown recovery support for the Frostblink. And like I said, everything needs to be life tap because don't have mana. With this build, I was able to farm nightmare maps. I'm not used to nightmare maps. They still have some annoying modifiers, and bosses can be really dangerous depending on how much you juice it up, but it is able to do that. It's not very pleasant, to be honest. The damage feels good, but since I'm not really used to boss fights in nightmare maps, I keep messing up the fights and I die. So yeah, I got almost 20 million DPS, that's including the Impale, and I believe that's including Impale, and also including the Shockwave. So yeah, it's pretty simple build, and by the way, do not forget that these boots can also be anointed, and I anointed crit multiplier and a bit of extra tankiness because I felt like the damage was fine. I just needed to survive more. Now if you look at POB, the tankiness numbers looks okay, but that's because of Molten Shell, which is with automation, but even without it, it's pretty decent, I would say. I also wanted to quickly mention one more build, which I did and quit. I was trying to use the new stuff that summons zombies with Saboteur, which summons twice more zombies. I did quit this build because it was just annoying to play, and what am I missing? I don't remember. I use the corpse walker boots. When you walk, you create corpses, and every 1 second, 2 zombies will appear out of those corpses. And when these zombies get to low life, and this is by the way now, I made it automated as well. So when we reach low life, we gain 100% increased attack speed, and damage can be really nice. All I'm using is Hellbound Loop because it's summon 2 zombies. It can then broadcast when damage taken with Desecrate and F. And this stuff also gives you like a rotten bulwark, like an absorption shield. The annoying part is that it's very easy to be not close enough to them. Nearby is very nearby. It's not very far. So you step a bit too far from them and you lose the protective buff, the protective shield that they provide, and then you start taking a lot of damage. Oh, it does have 2 setups, one for bossing, one for clearing. And for clearing I did right, because clear speed is very horrible. These zombies are super mega slow. You can convocate them, but I chose not to, I believe, because when we start attacking and you convocate, we're losing DPS because we start attacking, but then we get convocated and teleported and we can't attack. So for clearing I tried using melee splash and annihilation, which makes enemies explode, and the explosion is becoming part of minion skills, which means it should be able to chain explode. However, the AoE was still pretty bad and the clear was still pretty bad. Basically I have to run into enemy pack, convocate them manually, and then everything explodes, but only in kind of small circle around me, and then I have to walk again, convocate them again, they slam, explode. It's very clunky, but I think the damage potential could be pretty good. Now it does need to use Infernal Legion to make them lose life, and by the way, I made them unkillable for 6 seconds by picking up the Bloodline, which this one. Minions cannot be killed but die 6 seconds after being reduced to 1 life. And do not use the minions ability because it's just gonna bypass that. It's just gonna explode and we're not gonna live. They have 5-second base duration, so in addition you also need to increase their duration. I don't remember what amulet I was using before I changed this, but you do need to get the increased minion duration. It takes like a second for them to appear and start attacking, so you already have 4 seconds left. In those 4 seconds it's gonna take like 1.5 seconds for them to reach low life, so you only have like 2 seconds left of a higher attack speed. So you want to make them last longer. It's gonna take like 2 seconds for them to reach low life, maybe a bit more, and then remaining 6 seconds you want like full damage. By the way, we do not have a limit. The limit is the duration, so if you can extend their duration by a lot, I think that should be ideal. The sad part is just they are just way too slow, and they only have default attack and slam, and I believe slam was like 6-second cooldown, so it's not really viable. So yeah, that's about it. I'm gonna be taking a break for like a month until PoE 2, continue learning Unreal and Blender. So for now, thank you for watching, and I guess I'll see you the next time. Bye bye.